Jake, your line is now live.
Hi, Corey. How are you doing? Jake Jones from Ultimate MMA here. Congratulations on the birth of your daughter, Nina. Now, this was only a month or so back. Has this given you a new motivation to go and win that belt? And has fatherhood changed the way you're training at all?
I mean, fatherhood changed my life 2 years ago when my son was born. So that already gave me that new motivation, and that is what helped me on the winning streak I went on in the UFC. And then towards the end, I kind of lost focus of what I was fighting for. And we all saw what happened when I went into Yan. Like, I didn't fight for my family. I didn't fight for myself. I went out there to prove a point, and I paid the ultimate cost. And then coming back into the manhood fight, since that was my first fight after the February 15th, the refocus is back. Spent so much time with my son having another baby, but delivering the baby myself, it just put a whole nother aspect on everything. And now it's really like, yeah, I gotta go out here. I gotta be smart. I gotta do everything so I can get home safely to my family and bring home 2 checks from 2 kids in my family.
Absolutely. You mentioned a second ago about your loss to Yan. I know you, after departing from the UFC, you took to social media to note some serious head injuries that you suffered from after the fight. You mentioned about some of the blackouts that you suffered from. I think you kind of noted that the welfare of the fighters you didn't feel was, I guess, the UFC's top priority. What's life like under Bellator, and do you feel like you are much more valued and looked after as a fighter here?
I mean, the moment I got the release and everything settled from UFC and signed with Bellator, I knew my value was already, I was valued more over here already before even meeting anybody. We made it, my manager let people know that we got out of the UFC, and within like an hour to hour and a half, Bellator hit us with a huge offer that we couldn't pass. So like even him, DC, the people I was with at the time, like, yo, if you don't take that money, you are stupid. So we took that, and that showed me value, how much they value me as a fighter. And then a few hours later, I'm on the phone with Mike Hogan. And then a couple hours after that, I got a message from Scott Coker that wanted to meet for breakfast. So in a matter of 24 hours, a new promotion had offered me my worth in money, reached out and actually talked to me to see what my plans are, what I was looking forward to doing. And then they wanted to meet with me face-to-face, which is something in my 7 years in the UFC, I still hadn't had a face-to-face meeting with Dana White.
Damon?
Hey, Corey, 2 quick questions. First, let me ask you, in this tournament, obviously, you're coming in as one of the, highest ranked guys, so to say, but you're facing kind of the one unknown guy in the tournament, the guy who doesn't have the same kind of name value as, let's say, Nimkov the champ or Yoel Romero or Anthony Johnson. Does that raise the pressure for you going into a fight like this, considering you are the favorite and the known guy, and you're fighting the one guy in this tournament who isn't kind of a household name in this division?
Nah, don't put pressure on myself anymore. Like I said, going into the last fight against Manhood, they said the same thing. If you're getting knocked out in your losses, you're going against a guy that got 29 knockouts all in the first, or so many knockouts and 29 in the first rounds, or any pressure. The pressure is what you put on yourself, But I go into training camp and I look at my opponent, or my training partners, I'm going to look at my opponent. Granted, I'm not going out there to hurt them. I don't plan on hurting my opponent if I don't have to in a fight. But the plan is to go out there and dominate and win in the best fashion and get to him before he gets to me. So it could be the number 1 ranked guy. It could be the lowest ranked guy in the world. But the plan is go out there and fight like Corey Anderson fights. Go out there and be the mixed martial artist that you train to be every day. Don't go out there and fight down to the level of your opponent. Fight up to the level of the champion, because we train every day to be the champion, not to beat the person in front of me today.
One more. I know obviously your only focus is on Friday, but I got to ask, if everything goes well this weekend, you already know who your next opponent would be. What did you think, if you saw it, what did you think of Ryan Bader's recent performance?
I mean, at the end, he turned it up. He went out there and dominated and did what he should have did. And only thing I would say negative about his fight is the first 2 rounds, I felt, I was commentating it to my wife, like in his mind, I feel like he's thinking about that UFC fight when he blitzed in and got caught. But it's 7 years later. You're way better than that. He should have went out there and remembered, like, it's been 7 years. I've learned so much more. I'm not necessarily going to blitz in, but I can close this distance a lot faster. But playing the outside against a guy like Machida, who Machida's going to either counter or play kick game from the outside, and what he did, and he ate Bader up for like the first round and a half. But once he got past that, he went out there and dominated and did what he should have did and looked great. And if that's what I got to fight, or that's who I'm going to fight in the finals, just got to be paying attention to those same things. Just can't let him get turned up in the beginning. Got to go ahead and push the pace early and do what I do and control the ring or the cage.
Donna?
Corey, your opponent on Friday night is kind of an unknown quantity. He's the only one in this tournament who fans generally won't know. He hasn't been in the promotion before. What exactly do you know about your opponent on Friday?
I know he was the ACA champion I think he defended the belt probably 4 times, I think, at least 4, or he at least had it once and defended it 3. He's light on his feet. He plays the outside really well, and he wants you to overcommit. And when you overcommit, he's either going to throw a big overhand, he's going to shoot in for a shot. If you stay to the outside, he'll try to bounce, and lure you into a big, wild spinning heel kick or a low leg kick, trying to throw you off balance and make you rush forward. I just know he is a martial artist, you know. He was the champ somewhere else. He is legitimate enough to be in this tournament with the other 7 fighters. So with that being said, I'm not going there looking past him because he's not a name we don't know. I'm not looking in there and thinking, well, I was in the UFC and I was in the top. I fought the top. So this guy, he's not ready. I'm going out there thinking this guy is as dangerous as anybody else. He has 2 fists, he has 2 legs, he got 2 eyes and 2 ears. He can hear, see, and throw whatever he want to throw when he sees it. So I have to use my same tools, my hands, my feet, my elbows, my knees, my eyes, ears. Stay on, stay focused, and be prepared for anything because we don't know this guy. So we don't know what he can throw. He can go out there and throw anything that we haven't seen before. So you got to be prepared for whatever and just be the best mixed martial artist I can on Friday night and dominate the way I know I can.
There is dispute over in the UFC about, because John Jones vacated his title and then Jan fought Dominic Reyes and then he fought someone who was coming up from the lower weight class, that, there's dispute over the title over there. Do you believe that the winner of the tournament you're competing in is the best light heavyweight in the world?
I mean, I truly do. I had this conversation with one of my guys this morning. One of my best friends is here helping me out. And I said, if you think about it, they got this debate going on between the best in the UFC and the best in the Bellator. Well, you look at 4 people that's in this tournament, me, Phil Davis, Rumble, Ryan Bader, have all fought the #1 contender in the UFC. 3 of the 4 of us spanked that #1 contender pretty well and handily. So me, Phil Davis, and Rumble all went out there and beat Glover pretty precise, not even close. The Rumble knocked him out in like 13 seconds. Phil beat him unanimous. I beat him unanimous. And one of us in this tournament has fought the UFC champ. And I'm 1-1 with that champ. So, to be honest, there's a better rank of guys in the Bellator 205 than the UFC right now. Because a lot of the new 205ers coming up are just new guys that sign up from contenders and that no one really knows because they just got to fill these voids to find a new star.
Mike?
Hey, Corey, kind of to piggyback off that, Phil Davis said, 1, this is the greatest light heavyweight tournament of all time, and 2, Bellator hands down has the better of the 2 light heavyweight divisions between you guys and the UFC. Do you easily agree with both those statements?
100%. Like he said, I couldn't say any better like you just said. We have all the numbers, we have the skills, we have the names. I mean, really in 205 over there, all you have right now is the champ and Glover. And people here already beat both of those guys. So it's kind of like, it shouldn't even be a question. It's just the name of UFC, that's all.
We hear a lot of fighters talk about having both the physical and mental aspect all in check. And when you talk about how much more welcome and loved and appreciated and respected you feel coming over to Bellator, having this quarantine time to focus on family and getting back to fighting for everything that matters, unlike, your last fight in the UFC. So with all that in place, are you fighting at the perfect time this weekend in this tournament and moving forward?
Oh, 100%. I made a post a couple of days ago and said I'm in the best place I've been physically and mentally in my whole career. And that's just the fact you don't have that. You're not fighting with the organization. I got to a point, before the Johnny Walker fight, I didn't fight all that year until the end of the year to fight Johnny in December because we were fighting with the promotion the whole time, And then even after the fight, it still was a fight, And then I wasn't going out there. It got to the point, like my manager called me and said, "You're not the Corey we know anymore. You're changing. You turn into this ugly person. You just have a beautiful soul. That's not you. You don't speak like that. You don't act like that." But it was to the point you get so fed up to arguing with people. Because like I've been here for 7 years and done everything you wanted me to do. It's kind of like you still don't appreciate it. And now, so you're fighting two battles. You got to fight the guy in the octagon, but at the same time, you got to fight the people you work for. As for here, I haven't had any of that. I reach out to Mike Hogan, nothing but respect. Every time I got a question, he answered back. Any misunderstanding, we get it worked out. Boom, he talked to my manager talked to me. Everything is worked out. It's been smooth between two fights. Camp, there's no headache. I'm not stressing like, oh, so if I go out there or I say this, are they going to punish me? Oh, is this going to happen if I tweet this? If I post this post, are they going to get mad? If I tag this person, are they going to get upset? It's literally, I can be me. I have the right to be Corey Anderson, use Corey Anderson's platform the way Corey Anderson want to use it, post what I want to do, spend time with my family, say what I want to say. He's giving me my freedom of speech. He's giving me, it's kind of like the First Amendment, all the amendments that people are fighting for in the world. It's like Bellator gave me that back as a fighter. As for in the UFC, it was kind of like, you better do this or.
Martina?
Hello, sir. Just two questions. First of all, I would like to know who, in your opinion, is the dark horse in this tournament of Bellator?
I mean, to be honest, you gotta say Yags. The guy I'm fighting is the dark horse because nobody knows him, you know. But personally, I would say me because I know a lot of people. You see the media. Granted, I'm ranked as high as I am in the world and in Bellator and was in the UFC. A lot of people think from the performances I've had over my 7 years, when I get into the big fights, whatever Corey chokes, he gets knocked out. And being in a tournament where guys, all of them have knockout power, everybody expecting in one of these fights, I'm going to get clipped and get put out. But at the same time, you got to think, Yags just doesn't have a name. Nobody knows him. So everybody's looking like, oh, this guy's going to be the easiest fight of the whole tournament. Whoever gets him first should go out there and just maul over him because he's a nobody. And that's just that. You can't have the attitude going into any fight against anybody because everybody has a puncher's chance.
Okay. Talking about Yan and Glover Teixeira, you have your history with both of those fighters. Could you please share your prediction for this fight between Yan and Glover?
I think Glover's going to win. Glover's going to be the new champ. To be honest, I fought both of them. I think Glover's just a well-prepared mixed martial artist who has the better mindset that can go for 5 rounds. He has the better cardio, and he can put it all together throughout the whole fight, you know, and I just feel Yan, he's good too, but we all see Yan, he slows down in the later rounds. And at that point, that's when Glover is still good and he can take him down. His jiu-jitsu is just second to none, probably the best in 205.
Thanks for the time, Corey. Good luck on Friday.